guys, welcome back. This is Sensei Anthony from the American Vadha Kempo Academy. This is the second video in a series that I'll be doing right now because the dojo is closed due to the corona pandemic. So this is a little way to reach out to my students and keep them engaged. If you zoom into this, some new folks are joining us, welcome. If you have any questions or comments, my email is at the bottom of the paper. Feel free to contact me with questions or comments if you need to reach out to me for anything. Again, I'm representing the American Vadha Kempo Academy in East Brunswick, New Jersey, and the style I teach is American Vadha Kempo. First video we talked about stance, okay? And stance, as I said in the original video, is key. Your stance is the foundation for every technique, okay? If your stance is poor, you're gonna have poor strikes, poor defense, poor offense, poor movement, okay, everything builds on that stance. So, quick review on stance, and then the focus of today's video will be movement and stance. So again, your fighting stance, and I'm gonna focus on the right hand dominant stance, where your right hand is in the rear. Again, start with your feet a little wider than your shoulders. You're gonna step your right leg back at a 45-degree angle to your front foot. Your feet should be staggered, never in a straight line. Okay, my knees are going to be bent, and I want my weight distribution to be even, meaning I want half my weight on my front foot, half on my rear, so I'm not leaning forward or back, I'm just settling right into my stance. Okay, hands for now, they could be open or closed, but for now let's focus on closed hands because we're building on closed hand strikes. So, fingers tight, we're going to roll them together, and as I said before, use your thumbs like duct tape to hold it in place. Okay, nice tight hands. Elbows are going to be down, protecting the ribs, and my hands are going to be up, protecting my chin. So the way I assure that my hands are up high enough is my thumbs should be able to touch my cheekbones. That's how high I want my hands in order to protect. So here's where my stance is going to go from. So stance, or movement I should say in general, I like to break it down into two categories. Shuffle steps and pivot steps. And we're going to review both of them with this video. For those of you who are my students, you know we do these drills constantly. So do your movements with a lot of reps, get some leg work in there, as well as starting to improve your movement, make it more smooth and fluid. Okay? So if I want to move what I call shuffle steps, and the shuffle steps we're going to work forward, back, right or left, or any angle in between. The trick is to stay in my stance. I don't want to change my level or change the height of my head. I want to stay in my stance, and I never want my feet to cross. So if I want to move forward in my stance, what I'm going to be doing is pushing off my back leg. Front foot's going to take a little step off the ground, and then my back leg, once I make that forward movement, my back leg is going to catch up. So when I stop moving, I want to be able to land exactly in my stance. So again, moving forward, I'm going to push off the front or the rear leg. Front foot takes my little step, and then back leg slides to catch up. So it's a step slide. 1, 2, 3. Again, eyes forward, looking at your opponent. I'm coming towards the camera. Same movement, rear leg pushes off. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Moving backwards, which is something we don't like to do. And in Vadha Kempo, we're a very offensive system. We like to move forward. But if I'm forced to move backwards, the rule is just reversed. I'm going to push off my lead leg. Rear leg takes the step. Lead leg slides to catch up. So when I move backwards, stepping off the rear, pushing off the lead. Knees are bent. I'm in my stance. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Side to side or lateral movement, left and right movement. Again, as I mentioned before, we never want to cross our feet. So to follow that rule, if I move to my left, means my left foot has to move first. If my right foot moves first, my feet cross and I break the rule. I don't want to be tripping on myself or off balance. So when I move to my left, I push off the rear, left leg steps, right leg slides laterally, side to side. And 2, and 3, okay. Going to the right, just the opposite. Again, need to follow the rule. I don't want to cross my feet. So if I move to the right, my right foot has to move first. If my left foot moves first, I cross my feet, I break the rule. Okay? So I'm moving to my right. I'm going to step and slide. 1, 2, 3, okay? Onto the left, 1, 2, and 3, okay? Floor's a little slippery, so bear with me. So those are your 4 basic directions: forward, back, side to side. But again, I can move at any angle if I choose to. But for now, especially if there's some new folks joining us, just move in those 4 directions and put some reps in. Okay, work the legs, work the movement, do 4 to 5 forward motion, 4 to 5 back, left and right. Now, the second type of movement is what's called a pivot. Okay, a pivot is a rotational movement. And again, we'll focus on doing it in 90-degree increments for now, just to keep it very simple. But I could rotate at any degree, at any level of movement I choose. Okay? The rule on a pivot is only the back leg does the work. The front foot, picture it's pinned to the ground, and it only can rotate. So if I want to move to my left, I push off the back leg, front foot rotates, boom, and I want to land exactly in my stance. Okay? And again, I can continue that motion. Second count would put me facing the opposite direction. 2, boom, 3, and 4. Brings me back to center. Again, I apologize for the noise on the floor. It's a little bit slippery. So if I want to move the opposite, if I want to rotate towards my right, okay, same rule applies. Front foot is pinned to the ground, rotates, back leg does all the work. Except now I'm rotating in this direction. So from here, back leg does the work. I'm rotating here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, again, and you could do these in reps, multiple pivots, to get a little bit of a workout in there. Okay, so what I want to do today also is to blend lesson 1 with lesson 2. I want this to kind of be a cumulative journey. I'll always review what we did in the past lessons, but we want to build on what we know. So in the last lessons, we talked about stance and closed hand strikes. We're going to add a couple of the closed hand strikes to the movement. Okay, so 2 of the strikes we went over in the last video was a jab, which is a closed hand strike off the lead, and a straight right, which is a closed hand strike from the rear. And again, a quick review of those rules. Everything is done from my stance. Shoulder and hip have to work together. So when I throw my jab, my lead hip, my lead shoulder, my lead foot are going to turn, bang, when I deliver my strike. When I throw the straight right, rear shoulder, rear hip, rear foot pivots, and I fire my straight right. So what we can do is we can add the jab straight combination, or the 1-2 punch as they call it in boxing, to my movements. Now again, for beginners, okay, it's much better to move first and then strike, as opposed to trying to blend the 2 movements together, which you can at a more advanced level. But for now, every time we move, we're going to deliver a 1-2 or a jab straight combination. So what do I mean by that? If I move forward with the jab straight, I'm in my stance, rear leg pushes, I move forward, I stop my motion, boom, I'm in my position, and I fire 1-2. If I move backwards, same thing, now I push off my lead, I push, slide, 1-2. To the left, this leg moves first, pushing off the rear leg, step slide, 1-2, and last but not least to the right, pushing off my lead, right leg steps, step slide, 1-2. Okay, so again, you could do those in reps, and we do this at the dojo all the time. Moving forward with 1-2, you can do multiple reps forward, multiple reps back, to the left and to the right, as well as with the pivots. Okay, so again, combining stance with some strikes. Okay, the other thing I want to touch on is every video we'll do a little lesson as well. And the lesson I want to talk about today is if you zoom in on the shirt, for those of you who don't know our logo, part of the logo is a triangle. Okay? And a lot of martial arts systems use the triangle to symbolize the 3 parts that make us up: our body, our mind, and our spirit. Okay? And during this crisis we have right now, you know, a lot of us are, our schedules are off, our daily routines are off, but we need to make time, okay, and use this time wisely, okay? And I always try to tell my students, those three parts of us, our body, mind, and spirit, you should always be working to strengthen all three. Okay, body, what are you doing to make yourself healthier and stronger? Okay, you got time in the house now. Instead of just playing those video games, right? Start to do your push-ups, your sit-ups, your crunches, your jumping jacks, whatever it is, okay, that you can do. When you're not able to go to the gym, there's plenty of stuff you can look up online to do workouts from home. Okay, that's what I've been focusing on now because I can't get to the gym. Your mind, okay, what are you doing to make yourself more intelligent? Okay, again, everyone's doing classwork at home, but what can you do in addition to that? Is there a book you could pick up? Is there something you could study on your own that you're interested in? Or, again, always engaging the mind, developing the mind. And last but not least, the spirit. And again, we talk about spirit, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. Spirit to me is just about what are you doing to become a better person? Okay, what are you doing to develop your character? And especially now, these are challenging times, it gives you a chance, maybe to reach out to someone in need. Maybe, if you're in the home with your family, pitch in a little more than you're used to doing. There's something you could do. There's always something you could do to become a little bit better person. So focus on those three things, always. Body, mind, and spirit. What are you doing to develop all three parts of you? And again, I always like to tell my students, have goals in each of those categories. Okay, once you set the goal, put it down on paper. Okay, write it down, execute. It feels good when you cross those goals off the list once they're achieved. Okay, so again, I hope you enjoyed that little lesson on movement, stance movement, and adding some closed hand strikes to those movements. Keep checking back in because I'm going to be doing multiple videos as we continue. And I'll just hold up that side one more time. This is Sensei Anthony from the American Vadha Kempo Academy. My email address is down below if you'd like to reach out for questions or comments. Stay safe, guys, and hopefully we'll see you soon in the dojo. Thank you very much.